guys so much for being here. It's going to be such an incredible night. I think some of you know that this was a charity event, and some are probably just really excited to see Jamey Johnson, which I am too. He's one of my favorite artists. But before we get started, I just wanted to share a little bit about our story. For those of you who have been watching the video up here, I lost my husband 3 years ago to a rare form of cancer called Synovial Sarcoma. There's about 100 different subtypes of sarcoma cancer, so it's considered rare because there's so many different subtypes, but I promise you, organically on like a weekly basis, I meet somebody who has some sort of personal connection to sarcoma cancer. We actually just lost one of the warriors that our foundation supports, who's super, super near and dear to my heart. His name is Leo Cole. He passed away on December 6th. And he was supposed to be here tonight. So we're honoring him tonight as well and celebrating his life along with everybody in the audience who has had a loved one who has passed away at some point. Raise your hand if you've had a loved one who has passed away. Okay, so what I want you guys to do, Josh, my late husband, was just an amazing guy, but he used to say all the time that you're not forgotten until somebody says your name for the last time. So I have held true to that. I say his name almost, well, I do say it every single day, and probably will for the rest of my life. And so if you guys don't mind, I know this is kind of emotional and personal, but I think it's important. So if you would just take a second to say your loved one's name out loud, and we'll just go ahead and do that right now. Josh Powell. Come on, guys. Yes, your loved ones are not forgotten, and as long as you keep talking about them and sharing their stories with the world, they never will be, and I think that's super, super important. So thank you for joining me on that little to-do task. And what we're going to do next is we're going to play a video that explains a little bit about what the Josh Powell Foundation stands for, why I started it, and what we continue to do with the money that we raise. And so every single dollar that we raise through ticket sales, merch items, raffle prizes, auction items, all go to our newly diagnosed sarcoma cancer patients that we support, and the more money that we raise over time, we'll be able to do more for those people as well. So we'll go ahead and play that video so that I don't have to do as much talking. So as you can see, I hope you can see, I'm not somebody who stands up here and wants you guys to feel sorry for me. I'm never looking for sympathy when I share my story and my love story with Josh and his battle with cancer. It's more just sharing my life experience. At 32 years old, I've gained a whole different life perspective because of everything that we went through together. And it's an honor to be able to share it with other people, and my hope in doing so is that somebody doesn't have to go through the pain, the heartache, the struggle, and just the ugliness of cancer to figure out that mindset, and realize that life is so incredibly short. Every single day is a gift. None of us are guaranteed tomorrow. And there's one thing for certain, that none of us are going to get out of here alive. I think a lot of times we get caught up in everyday life and we forget that, and we miss opportunities to really live life to the fullest and to love fiercely. That's something that I'm so passionate about. Someone asked me the other day if I could sum up my wisdom into one sentence, what would it be? And I always say love fiercely, because this all ends. And it's so true. Use every opportunity you have to love as fierce as you possibly can and live as hard as you can, because you just don't know when your day is coming. So that's just a little bit about me and what we're all here for. What JPF does as a foundation is we support newly diagnosed sarcoma cancer patients. Like I said, there's about 100 different subtypes, maybe even more at this point. And so we reach these patients right at diagnosis on their first day of treatment, whether it be chemo, radiation, surgery. And if you want to pull out your brochure that were on your seats, there's a keep going statement on the back. Josh had made these keep going, never die easy wristbands before he passed away. We actually had a coworker that I used to work with who was struggling with heroin addiction, and I just saw her posting all these really dark things all the time, and I just knew that I needed to reach out to her. And so Josh had just made these wristbands, and I asked him, hey babe, I'm gonna send an old coworker of mine a wristband, but if you could just write like a little paragraph or, statement explaining what the wristband means, so when she gets it, she kind of understands what, the power behind it is. And so that's where this keep going statement came from. So these newly diagnosed patients receive this statement on their first day of treatment, as well as a wristband and just functional items that they would take with them on a daily basis, a water bottle, a beanie, a journal to write in, all kinds of things like that. But the main thing is just showing them that they have a choice. And that's anybody facing adversity, which is each and every one of us in this room at some point in our life is gonna face some sort of adversity, right? So it's just realizing that I can be a victim and I can let this thing that's trying to take me down, or I can choose resilience and figure out a way to continue to live my life and not give power to the thing that's trying to kill me. So with anything, like I said, we all have a choice, and I think at the end of the day, that's the most important thing in life, because we all will face something that will try and take us down. I mean, Josh's death, cancer. If I stayed in bed every day and cried, Josh not only would want to kick my butt, but I would be letting cancer steal more from me than it already has. So that's why I stand up here, and that's why I'm so passionate about the Josh Powell Foundation and shedding light on newly diagnosed patients and their stories, and creating a platform for them to share their inspiring story with the world and just have this ripple effect continue. So again, thank you so much for being here. We're gonna have a couple survivors come up and speak, and then we'll get started and invite Jamey up on stage and we can all party. So thank you again, you guys.